Rumors are that allegedly Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac producer Eric Fuller has been officially let go by the network. What happened? I have some new behind the scenes details that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac producer Eric Fuller has officially been let go at the network. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac producer Eric Fuller has officially been let go at the network. The source elaborates. It was a mess behind the scenes, and everyone was trying to figure out how Eric, who once was a star producer, fumbled his producing bag. Many people were pointing fingers at who was to blame, and once Eric joined the finger-pointing game, people then knew he was desperate. For Eric, continued the source, the writings were on the wall for him to read for the last 3 seasons of both shows. Many say that Real Housewives of Atlanta's low ratings weren't solely his fault. However, when he fumbled casting for season 15, it was clear he was in over his head. This, said the source, is when things took a turn for the worse. With so much attention placed on Real Housewives of Atlanta, he started to allegedly neglect his baby, Real Housewives of Potomac. In doing so, he lost his ace in the hole, and the network started losing value in his work. So the question is, what did he allegedly do that really cost him his job? Well, many Bravo observers think that Eric relinquished too much control to Gizelle to run Real Housewives of Potomac, and her inexperience and ego prevented her from effectively doing the job. In actuality, much of Real Housewives of Potomac's low ratings and bad press should fall solely on Gizelle's shoulders, but Eric, being the producer, took on much of the blame from the network, ended the source. Another source believes that the rumors regarding Eric's firing aren't true. Yes, said the source, I saw the alleged job search post from Eric, but that only means he's looking for work until Real Housewives of Atlanta is back in production. Another insider called BS and feel like that explanation isn't true, saying that pre-production and post-production / reunion producing for Real Housewives of Potomac are allegedly paid gigs. So if he's still at the network helping with Real Housewives of Atlanta's issues and helping to produce the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, then he should still be getting paid, unless he's been completely let go by the network. And some fans seem to agree. One fan said, Eric being fired is a really good thing for a good reason. The way he allowed both Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac to fall by the wayside was criminal. Another fan said on Twitter, Eric's bias towards Gizelle, Robin, and Ashley was enough to get anyone fired. How can you be so one-track minded at your job where you start to think your only responsibility is to make Gizelle happy? All sources agree that Eric's alleged firing from the network may be for the best and may actually save both Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac in the long run. Now, kinfolk, there's a lot of information that I've been receiving over the past several weeks about rumors that Eric was allegedly let go at the network. So we're going to hop right into this rumor with the first part of it that I absolutely do believe, and it's this. I do believe that a lot of the issues that Eric may have been experiencing with the network when it came to low ratings or bad press, especially for Real Housewives of Potomac, really was his fault for allowing Gizelle to make so many decisions. It is very evident who calls the shots and who runs the show at Real Housewives of Potomac, and it's Gizellebryant. And the thing about it is a lot of other fans have started to realize this too and have started to pull away from the franchise. As a producer, I really do feel like it's not a bad thing to lean on some of your OG housewives or some of your housewives who understand how to produce their castmates, but to completely and obviously relinquish all control to Gizelle is where the line should have been drawn. And unfortunately for Eric, it does seem like that line never even existed. And if it did exist, in the words of Candace, it was always moving to benefit Gizelle. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor that I can see as being factual, and it's when I knew that Eric probably was in trouble with the network, and it's this. I think it was back in the fall, or if not the fall, back during the summer, when Real Housewives of Atlanta was experiencing some ratings issues. Now, the thing about it is, Real Housewives of Atlanta's ratings for last season were good, were great some episodes, and were decent and strong. And from what my sources are saying, still had them in the top 3 category of Real Housewives franchises when it came to ratings, and oftentimes in the number 2 spot right behind Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. However, fans of Real Housewives of Atlanta are very protective of the franchise, and there were a lot of talks about casting decisions, storylines, the appearance of Marlo being protected by negative storylines or negative press. And it was Eric who got on social media and claimed that he has no involvement in storylines, and also I think it was in casting. I'm paraphrasing his whole statement here. And the reason why that was so telling is because it seems as if you are a producer, right? It seems as if you can stand 10 toes down on your producing decisions. And also, as a producer, it was very far-fetched to believe that he does not have any say over storylines, narratives, and casting. And so seeing him trying to distance himself from the chaos that Real Housewives of Atlanta experienced briefly last season pretty much showed that he too saw the writings on the wall, that some parts of the season were disastrous, and he didn't want to take the blame for it from the fans. And also, in essence, meaning he didn't want to take the blame for it from the network. So when you're a producer and you're flat out saying that, you know, something that really did not seem believable, and when you're saying that in defense of yourself and your work, it really does show that you too saw the writings on the wall, that things were not going great at the franchise, and that you might get blamed for it by the network if they start to see what some of the fans were saying. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor that I think is somewhat factual for Eric, unfortunately, moving forward, if he is trying to save his job at the network, and it's this. It appears that the majority of the housewives really don't seem to care for Eric that much. I would say, from what I can tell, it seems as if a lot of it has fallen on his own shoulders and by his own doing, especially at Potomac. It seems as if Eric has intentionally isolated himself from the rest of the ladies outside of Gizelle, Robin, and Ashley. And so when you look at how big the ensemble is at Real Housewives of Potomac, my sources are saying that there is indeed allegedly some quiet animosity brewing between Eric and the other ladies outside of Gizelle, Robin, and Ashley. But who can blame them? Who can blame them? Because it seems as if Eric has made it his mission to go out his way to let people know that Gizelle, Ashley, and Robin are his favorites. And the same thing at Real Housewives of Atlanta, where my sources say the situation's even worse, where it seems as if the only lady he's willing to back up publicly and privately is Marlo. And we know when you start to pick favorites as a producers, that's when your franchise starts to go downhill. Carlos King and Kenya talked about this in their interview, that the ingredient that makes a great producer and a great franchise is that when a producer is willing to see all the ladies succeed and not just try to help a few of them succeed. And in doing so, you really get a full show, a show full of great storylines and a show full of great moments and great friendships. But however, it seems as if Eric is the conductor of dividing the cast. And even worse, it seems as if he is also picking sides. So with that being said, if the network or other producing partners went to the ladies and asked them about their experience with Eric, I don't think they would have any nice things to say that would back him up or help him keep his job. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor that I do agree with most of the sources and some of the fans across social media is this. Eric potentially leaving the franchises Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac is really a great thing. I mean, it's a good thing when you think about it, because Real Housewives of Atlanta, if you look at the department that they have struggled in the most, it is the lack of a variety of storylines. And the same thing with Potomac. It is the lack of variety of storylines. And for Potomac, fans just got tired of hearing this whole voodoo storyline that went on literally almost 6 episodes. And it seems as if Eric has been, protecting Gizelle, Ashley, and in a lot of ways Robin too, when it comes to her really opening up with Juan about what happened. And when you do that, you only leave a handful of ladies to really carry the franchise. And then that's when your plans tend to backfire. When you rely on only 1 or 2 ladies on the franchise to carry the whole season with storylines, whether the storylines are in their favor or against them, it really shows how important that lady is and how important and how unimportant the ladies that you're trying to protect are when it comes to the franchise. The same thing with Real Housewives of Potomac. Right now, it seems as if the show desperately needs, and I will agree, and I think a lot of fans would agree, that it seems as if the show desperately needs Wendy, Karen, and Candace. The main 3 people that seems as if that Gizelle, Robin, and Ashley, and Aneka are trying to get rid of. And the thing about that is, if you get rid of those 3 ladies, then you have nothing. And so in doing so, you kind of paint yourself back into a wall. And that's why I feel like a lot of this is really at the fault of Eric. You cannot be a producer and pick sides. You cannot be a producer and not have the entire show for the betterment of the entire show in the forefront of your mind. You can't do it. You can't pick sides. You can't put other cast members over another cast member, and you really can't put a cast member over the betterment of the entire franchise. Something that he has unfortunately done at Real Housewives of Atlanta with Marlo, and now at Real Housewives of Real Housewives of Potomac with Gizelle. So again, if Eric is indeed let go, because right now it's all speculation and alleged information, but if it happens that he is indeed let go, I think everyone can agree that it's no one's fault but his own. Now, kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think about this rumor. Do you think that the writings are on the wall that Eric Fuller has officially been let go as a producer at Bravo? Or do you think it's just hearsay and rumors and that the network may be just reassessing his role and trying to see how they can move forward with him in the future with at least one of the franchises, if not both? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over in the next one. Peace.